Hello and welcome back to our home here in Brittany in northwest France. If you're here for the first time, my name is Jane and I live with my husband Michael here in Brittany, and we live a mortgage and debt-free life, and we are semi-retired, means we work part-time. So this week is all about how we close out our June budget. Now, we've put links below to the June budget at the beginning of the month, and this is where I show you how I finalise that at the end of the month. Okay, quick recap of our June budget. So down here, our June budget of pension plus income after all deductions that we actually had to live on was €2,008. Our living costs for the month were 938. Our savings for the month were 1070, and it totalled 2008. Won't go through this now, but we had some expenses. So we all had our food, fixed expenses, fuel, dog meds, Jane's meds, personal and extra. And I'm going to go through now how we record that throughout the month. Every time we buy anything at all that isn't on autopay or direct debit, we make sure we keep a receipt, or we have an online receipt that's in our bank statement, for example, anything we might buy from Amazon. So come down here to my receipts and let's go through this. I've got all my food receipts and I've got the total for that. And I keep them all. I have fuel, dog medication, Jane's medication, and things we bought for ourselves and the house. And I make sure every single receipt is tracked in my tracking, in my spending, and balanced against my budget. Throughout the month, we keep a mental tally, we've got a physical tally in our book as well, and the receipts that we keep against the budgeted amount. So let's come down to here. This month we set ourselves a personal allowance that we could spend €150 on extras, things we needed for the house or things we wanted to spend for ourselves. We spent on ourselves €30 on beach items. Then we needed to buy a new strimmer head. A strimmer is a machine that cuts the grass. We needed to buy a new strimmer head. We had some items we needed to put French plugs on. We bought plugs. I painted some doors, and we bought some wood to finish off around our bath and some other DIY work. It came to 157, so holding myself accountable, we went €7 over. Let's look at where we went over and where we went under, and how we actually balanced out at the end. So down to here now. We were over on DIY by €7. We were under on food by 4. We went over on fuel by 18. And that's because we needed to spend more money on fuel for the chainsaw, for the strimmer, for the lawnmower. So that was simply bad planning and lack of stock checking of the fuel on our part. Dog medication, we were under by 4. My medication, we were under by 9. So if you add up what we were under and over, we were actually, in total, €1 over our entire budget. Which means we have to do an adjustment down here. Means our long-term savings was not the nice, neat and tidy amount of 700, but £6.99. So we did have to make a €1 adjustment. Now, let's take a look at what we spent out of our sinking funds and what is left down to here. So we have an annual sinking fund of €600 for car repairs and servicing and such like. We spent €150 having the car having its service. That's all its checks, oil change, filter change, and so on. Within that check, we found out then we needed 2 new tyres, discs and pads. So that was €150 for service and another €250 for wear and tear and parts that needed changing. So out of our 600 fund, we've spent 400 so far. We have 200 left. However, we are now waiting on a DEVI. I can't think what we call that in English anymore. An estimate. The turbo is on its way out in the engine. So we are waiting for what that is going to cost us. That will affect we'll have to have, I suppose you would call that a mid-year budget adjustment, because we're going to have to make that car sinking fund bigger. Over to here, where else did we spend money? I bought a hat this month. I also bought some underwear this month, which brings my total clothing spending this year up to 110. My budget for the year is 300. I've got 190 left. Mike spent nothing, he's still got 300 left. So that's where we are with the sinking funds. Then this month, we made a major purchase. We bought Maurice, the mower. He cost us a lot of money. However, we had the money saved. We were going to buy a bigger mower. We decided to split ourselves down the middle and sort of buy a halfway mower. We didn't buy a cheap one. We didn't buy the expensive one that we were saving up for. We bought a middle one with a 5-year guarantee. So we are going to have to do some adjustments of our savings funds and look into adjusting how much we need to be putting in the future to get that saving fund back up. Let's sum this up. Throughout the month, we record every receipt. We check in daily. Every time we spend something, we record it. We check each and every week where we are approximately, and we keep a subtotal. And then at the end of each month, we evaluate where we are completely. We're normally not over. We are, as you can see, €1 over this month, but we can live with that one. That just leaves me to say, I hope that was helpful. If it was, give it a like. If you enjoy these videos, go on, subscribe. Thank you so much to everybody who watches. I really, really do appreciate it. Most of all, thank you to everybody who leaves all those really good comments. It's lovely. Thank you so much to all of you. And that leaves me to say, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.